Do you guys remember Wrecking Crew? It was an arcade game that released in 1984, over a year before Super Mario Bros., and featured Mario working on a demolition crew under the tyrannical foreman Spike. I covered this game in a video about 4 years ago if you're interested. The sequel would finally be released 14 years later, in the form of Wrecking Crew 98, a Japanese exclusive Super Nintendo game. Though if you want to play the game, it finally made its way to the West through Nintendo Switch Online. The story of Wrecking Crew 98 opens, of course, with Mario returning home from vacation. He doesn't have any luggage or anything fancy, just a bindle. The home we see also seems to be the same one from Super Mario RPG, so it's in the same general time frame as that game. However, when he arrives, Mario finds a number of huge skyscrapers built around his home. These were constructed under the orders of the King of the Koopas, Bowser. Apparently he built them as secret bases. Very subtle, my liege. But Bowser wasn't alone. The Koopa King has no history with construction. He doesn't know how to use a jackhammer. Imagine Bowser driving a motor grader. You can't. It's just impossible. So, to help this newest scheme come to fruition, Bowser has hired a villain from deep in Mario's past. His former boss, Foreman Spike of the Wrecking Crew, who himself also wanted revenge for his previous encounter with Mario. Actually, this whole thing was really Spike's idea, and the former foreman sold the skyscraper designs to Bowser as being invincible, even when Spike, of all people, knew that any building was wreckable. It was from this co-inspired revenge that they sought to build these towers, to destroy the peaceful beauty of Mario's pad. The skyscrapers towered over the area, its shadows starving the local flora of their necessary sunlight. Knowing what must be done, Mario digs out an old chest lying somewhere around his home, from which he retrieves his hammer from the old Wrecking Crew days. It feels like Mario retrieving the hammer was given some kind of reverence in-game. It's like it's been a while since he's used one, maybe even since the events of the first Wrecking Crew game. And if that's the case, this would place Wrecking Crew 98 fairly early in the timeline, likely before he started using the hammer regularly in the RPGs. From here, Mario leaves his home to start taking down the various towers sprouting up in his neighborhood. We get a look at the world map here, but much like Super Mario RPG, I find it unlikely that this map is an accurate depiction of the Mushroom Kingdom, as it both shows the kingdom as an island and makes it look fairly small. In order to destroy each building, Mario takes on the Guardian in a form of falling block puzzle game. The first 3 levels are against a Koopa Troopa, an Eggplant Man, and a Gotcha Wrench, all generic enemies returning from previous games. Levels 4 and 5 are against Spike and Bowser, but that isn't it. Throughout the game, if you meet certain requirements, 4 more levels can be unlocked, each of which have an entirely new enemy. In level 8, Mario faces off against this strange, sentient, delicious jelly donut, by which I mean a rice ball, or onigiri, a common Japanese snack. It never speaks and just kind of explodes when defeated. Level B features this creepy young ghost girl who asks Mario to play with her by destroying the building. She doesn't seem to have a name, and we don't know how she died or why she's haunting the building. At the end of their match, she ascends to heaven. Level C is a character named Oyazi, which just refers to a kind of father-aged man. He is drinking heavily, lamenting how, in his desire to build warm, comfortable buildings, he is instead hired to build a cold, unfeeling megastructure. Oyazi is clearly burnt out and wanting more from his job. I get it, man. Together, he and Mario destroy his tower, and Oyazi decides to stick with building warm little houses in the future. Another happy ending. Level D features the character of Dogu. She is a small statue built by some ancient civilization. Her design resembles the Dogu statues, real-life historical oddities that were created in Japan between 2,000 and 3,000 years ago. These statues also went on to inspire the demon Arabaki in Shin Megami Tensei, who is definitely worth his own video in the future. But when thinking about what kind of ancient culture created the Dogu, I want to remind you that this isn't the first Dogu statue that we've seen. As I mentioned in my Virtual Boy Wario Land video, that game also features a Dogu statue as a treasure, implying that this statue may have also come from the ancient culture of the Awazan River Basin. At the end of the game, after destroying all 8 skyscrapers and Bowser's castle, Mario, Luigi, and Peach leave the smoldering ruins of these buildings, with nature once again protected. Meanwhile, Bowser has finally realized that he's been scammed, and goes to get his pound of flesh from Foreman Spike, setting the sun on the events of this game. Now looking at the timeline, I've played around a couple of locations, but I think I'm going to settle on right after Super Mario World. Mario is mentioned to be returning from a well-earned vacation, and he was on vacation at the start of Super Mario World. This also keeps the game relatively early in the timeline, far before we started using hammers in the RPGs. And with that, I'm going to let you go till next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.